This is Imaginary Me, where we see through the illusion of the separate self. Welcome back. It's Imaginary Me. In the last podcast episode I made on the proper use of practices in non-duality, I mentioned something at the end about energy work and how it was kind of in line with a non-dual understanding and could be useful in some regard. I'd like to unwrap that a little bit today and go into that further. This all has to do with the energy implications of the dualistic realm, the so-called material world where individuals go around doing things and being people, which of course is not the non-dual understanding. But I hope to unwrap this a little bit for you. The first thing to say is that the dualistic realm is basically an energy harvesting system. The way this works is that the dualistic realm doesn't have its own energy source. Instead, it gets its energy needs met by the non-dual realm, the only true realm. The non-dual powers the dualistic realm. And in the model I'm presenting, the non-dual is the source, the only source of life. It is the only true and real realm. The dualistic realm doesn't have an energy source of its own, and it taps the non-dual to power itself. And you could think of the dualistic realm using like a power cord and plugging that into the non-dual to power itself. And that power cord is the chi, the prana, orgone, ki. It has many names for this bioenergy. And that chi is the bridge, if you will, between the dualistic realm and the non-dual. The chi is the first manifestation out of the non-dual and used to create the dualistic realm. And from the chi, then we have all of the things, the 10,000 things that are made out of that energy. So the dualistic realm is drawing energy in the form of chi from the non-dual. Now, don't misunderstand me. Chi itself, this bioenergy, is itself a part of the dualistic realm. It is not non-dual. In the non-dual, there are no forms. Chi is the most subtle type of form that, in fact, the first prototype, if you will, of form derived from the non-dual. And the dualistic realm, of course, uses that chi to create everything else. But that is the first instance of manifestation. And that manifests in the various types of bodies that we have, the physical body, the etheric, the astral. All of these dualistic bodies are created out of chi, this bioenergy. What energy work will help you discover is the energetic implications of maintaining the illusion of a separate self. The person that many, in fact most people, think that they are. The maintenance of that illusion requires vast amounts of energy because it depends on pulling you into anger, depression, sadness, jealousy, some negativity to fuel the dualistic realm. It involves a sort of energetic contraction which powers the dualistic realm. Positive emotions, if we could call them emotions, they're not really emotions, like love, those do not fuel the dualistic realm, but are tied closer to the non-dual. Negative, or so-called negative emotions, though, are the primary fuel source for the dualistic realm, negative thinking and negative emotions, and they usually go hand in hand. Energy work will allow you to develop your sense of energy well enough to feel that deficit when it happens. You'll feel that contraction more fully. Everyone can feel the contraction that happens when you are sad or depressed or angry or whatever. But energy work will fine-tune that ability, and you can you can then actually feel the energy draining out of you. You are becoming a battery for the dualistic realm, much like the Matrix movie, where everyone is in a cocoon and acting as a battery to power the system. That's essentially what's going on here with your energy. And the very maintenance of a sense of self that's separate from the world, separate from the unified field that we all are, that maintenance of that separate self is itself a huge drain on your energy. Energy work can help you develop your sense of energy well enough to really detect and feel when you are either feeding the dualistic realm or disconnected from it. And it allows you to disconnect from the dualistic realm more easily. When you detect your energy is flowing in the wrong direction or toward the dualistic, by that awareness, you can immediately cut that off and refuse to participate in it. So in this regard, energy work becomes a more valuable asset for the non-dual understanding. I should also mention that if you proceed with energy work without the non-dual understanding and self-realization, then it's kind of like you're building your energy, you're trying to accumulate energy, you're doing these exercises, but it's like pouring water into a basket full of holes, and the energy just drains out. It becomes much less efficient and productive to go around maintaining that sense of separation while also trying to do energy work. Your energy work will take off by leaps and bounds if you seek first self-realization and then add energy work to that. Of course, you can do it in either order, but just know that carrying around a sense of separation and all of the negative emotions and thinking that go along with it has a huge energetic cost and will far outweigh any positive effects of energy work that you may employ. So my recommendation would be seek first the kingdom of God, which is seek your true self first. And then, as part of your embodiment of that understanding of your self-realization into the character in the movie that you before thought you were, but now you realize is just a character in the movie. The embodiment of that understanding and the goodness that can accumulate back to the character will be rapidly enhanced through energy work, because it gives you a kind of a super detection mechanism to see when you are feeding the dualistic realm. That's the benefit of energy work. If you have any questions about this, just drop me a comment and I'd be happy to answer it. That's all for now. Until next time, take care and enjoy yourself.